MACJ Mic'dup, your one-step podcast for health, finance, and much more. I'm your host Shayani Mahapatra, and today I am joined by Dr. Kinshuk Dasgupta, who is not only a senior scientist at BARC but also a prestigious Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar Awardee. And today we will get an insight about the Bhabha Kavach, which is India's revolutionary bulletproof jacket that is made by BARC. A very warm welcome to our podcast.
Thank you, Shayani.
Can you tell us a bit about yourself and how you got involved in this project?
Well, actually, background-wise, I'm a metallurgist and I did my BE in metallurgy, but then I did my PhD in chemical engineering. So basically, I have the knowledge of materials and development of materials, and during processing, the chemical engineering knowledge also come into picture. So this particular project, Bhabha Kavach, basically we felt that there is a requirement of introduction of new materials to reduce the weight, and also something called trauma, which I will explain afterwards. So my background helped me to handle the project.
So, can you explain a bit what exactly is Bhabha Kavach and how did the idea for it come up?
Bhabha Kavach is a series of lightweight bulletproof jackets. So bulletproof jacket already it existed. Our objective was to reduce the weight and also to reduce something called trauma, which I already mentioned. See, the earlier bulletproof jackets, they used to be very heavy, and when the soldiers to carry it, and they need to wear it around the clock. So it becomes very much strenuous for them, carry them, and also when they face the ammunition, see, not only the bullet should be stopped, but also the effect of the bullet that should not be felt that much to them, because that also sometimes kills a person. So from that we had some idea, we started our idea how we can fulfill these objectives.
So, what materials is Bhabha Kavach made from?
See, Bhabha Kavach made up of two materials. One is called boron carbide. It is a hot pressed boron carbide, which is a BARC technology. And another important material is carbon nanotube. There are other materials that those materials are always used in bulletproof jacket. But these two materials are unique with respect to Bhabha Kavach. So this hot pressed boron carbides, these are one of the hardest materials. The job of this material is to blunt the bullet. But it is again a brittle material. So when it absorbs the energy of the bullet, it itself gets fractured. Now it may become a secondary bullet after getting fractured. So these pieces needs to be contained in a tough material. So we have used a concept of a hard material, and behind that is a tough material. This tough material will contain these fragments as well as the bullets, and they will not allow the bullets to come to the body. And not only that, they will dissipate the energy so that there is something called trauma, which is a protrusion, backside protrusion, that also it minimizes. So the combination of boron carbide and carbon nanotube, these two technologies are BRC technology. They have made this Bhabha Kavach a special part.
There are many bulletproof jackets already available. What makes this Bhabha Kavach different from all other bulletproof jackets that is available in India or around the world?
See, the Bhabha Kavach is not exactly totally different. We can say it is having added features. Like it is the lightest. Why? Because it is using the lightest ceramic material, which is a hard material, boron carbide, and also the carbon nanotube. Carbon nanotube is one of the strongest material. So by using it, and also it is having good thermal conductivity. So by using these two materials, we could make this jacket light, as well as being a strong material, we could reduce the number of layers, because these are layered structure.
Okay.
So by this way, we could reduce the overall weight. So Bhabha Kavach is almost 15 to 20% less weightier than the existing bulletproof jackets. So this is the basic feature of the Bhabha Kavach.
Can you tell us a bit about how long did it take to design and make this Bhabha Kavach?
See, the problem came to us in around 2016, and we could deliver the Bhabha Kavach in 2017. So, and we started from scratch. It took all a year, but there existed some background. And what we did, we made certain contribution like modular design and you can say layered structure and how to dissipation of heat. So all this concept, this came into our mind immediately, but to implement it, it took almost 1 year. And then after 1 year, the technology was ready, but it took say another 6 months to transfer it to the industries. So you can say almost in a year and a half, the Bhabha Kavach went to the industry.
So, what are the main features and the specifications of this Bhabha Kavach?
Shayani, I have already explained this is one of the lightest.
Yes.
And another feature, apart from being lightest, it is having a modular design. What is modular design? So we make this boron carbide tiles in blocks, and we make in hexagonal shape and also sometimes brick shape. So what happens? We can give a curvature by putting small blocks. And another advantage is, if I use a block structure, then if a bullet is struck, so if a block is damaged, my crack is not propagating throughout my area. I mean, sometimes people used to use monolithic, that means one single piece. These materials are brittle, so in a brittle material, if a crack starts, it starts to propagate from one end to another. So how to arrest it? So to arrest it, we made that modular design. So we can have a multi-hit capability. So that is another feature of Bhabha Kavach. It is having multi-hit capability. Again, I explained you the trauma,
Yes.
which is very, very important. See, we can stop the bullet, but if the trauma, that means backface signature, which is the protrusion behind the jacket, if it is more than a value, then it can damage your internal organs. And by damaging internal organs also people may die. So our objective was also to minimize the backface signature. So we could do that. So I would say carbon nanotube played a vital role in that by reducing the backface signature. So I would say there are three main features. One is lightweight, second is low trauma or low backface signature, and third is modular design.
We basically know that BRC generally works on the nuclear research.
Yes.
What motivated them to make a bulletproof jacket?
This is a good question. See, actually this background of nuclear materials only helped us to develop this. This is a spin-off technology. So we are using this boron carbide and carbon nanotube. You know, boron carbide is used in control rod material in nuclear reactor. So we had a very long experience in producing boron carbide. In fact, BRC is the only research organization who is making hot press boron carbide. And hot press boron carbide is the best material for stopping a bullet. Secondly, in carbon nanotube also, we are using this carbon nanotube for separation in both in front end and back end of nuclear fuel cycle. So we had already experience in these two materials, and when this problem came, basically this requirement came from CRPF. They were searching for a lightweight bulletproof jacket, and they thought that BARC is having a strong materials group, and that is why they approached that time the director BARC. And from our past experience, we could channelize that experience into this. And that is why this project was completed very early with respect to other organizations.
So, can you tell us about like what kind of weapons or attacks can this jacket protect against?
See, as I told, that Bhabha Kavach is a series of bulletproof jackets. So there are various threat levels, and nowadays they are classified as BIS standard, Bureau of Indian Standard. So BIS 3, it can give you protection against SLR. Then higher version of Bhabha Kavach can give you protection against AK-47, both mild steel core bullets as well as hard steel core bullets. Nowadays BIS 6 is also there, where like higher caliber ammunition are being used, like Magnum and armor piercing incendiaries, so like that. So Bhabha Kavach can give protection against all these threats, and depending upon the threats, the levels are different. So a particular force they can use depending on what threat they are facing. So we can meet the requirement of everybody.
So, were there any challenges you faced while making this Bhabha Kavach?
See, for any development you face challenges. So our first challenge was basically, you can say that even the objective of this, we are a nuclear people.
Yeah.
So when it came to us, it was a different kind of requirement. We never worked on this requirement. So initially we were thinking that what modification can we made in the materials itself, so that means our strength, what is our strength, that can come into this product. Secondly, the integration part. This is a very tricky thing. We did not have any experience. See, I explained the phenomenon, but just by knowing this phenomenon, one person cannot make a bulletproof jacket. So there are various steps and very, you can say, very minute things that affect the performance of the bulletproof jacket. So that initially we failed. It is not that we succeeded in the first time. I think even first 7 rounds we failed, which was very quick. But then we understood that those minute details, engineering challenges, and we could overcome those things from the result of the failure. So I can say that was the first barrier, and secondly, to convince also the user, because everybody would say that you are not actually into the field. But then definitely the higher authority, they took the right step. We almost tested as per the standard and sent the jackets to everybody, all the users. When they used themselves, and then the confidence came, and we submitted all the test reports. So by that time, then it everybody accepted that. So we could overcome the challenges.
How have the army or the police personnel have reacted to this Bhabha Kavach so far?
See, we got very good reactions from them. We sent different batches to different forces. But there are military and paramilitary, and but the actual procurement process is something different. So we have transferred the technology now to 4 reputed companies. So the purchase is a different phenomena, but the uses everybody have used and they are satisfied. Like CISF, we have given a bulk amount of Bhabha Kavach to CISF. Then in certain places, ITBP, then BSF, they did their field trials with Bhabha Kavach, and everywhere it succeeded. So I would say that users are happy with that, and it has reaches the users, but I exactly don't know that the quantity wise. So that actually the technology holder, the transfer, we did the transfer of the technology, they can give a better picture that how much actual order has been placed upon them.
How affordable is Bhabha Kavach for all the security forces in India?
See, Bhabha Kavach is quite affordable. I would say comparatively, it is almost 1/3 of the cost of the imported jackets. But some jackets which are made in India, the cost is comparable, but weight is lighter. Bhabha Kavach is lighter than them, comparable cost. So in that case, I would say if I think weight cost per unit weight, definitely Bhabha Kavach is the cheapest one.
I would really like to know this thing, that what emotions do you feel knowing that your work might help save lives in the battlefield?
Definitely it is quite emotional. But bulletproof jacket is like that. It is 0-1. You cannot have failure. It has to save the life. And initially, when we were not in the field and then came into the field, definitely the emotion was quite high. You know that. But slowly, definitely, see, we understand that for every other product also, which is related to our defense,
Yes.
same emotion come into pitch. So I would say everybody who is working for the defense, they have a different feeling. So they are working for the our country and the people for our country. So I would say definitely emotion is there.
So, as you already know that our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji is already stressing on Atmanirbhar Bharat. So, how does Bhabha Kavach support this goal?
See, as I told, so it is a import substitute. Previously, we used to import this bulletproof jacket at a cost which is almost 3 times higher than that of the Bhabha Kavach. So now you can imagine we require almost 10 lakhs Bhabha Kavach. So how much exchequer it can gain from that? And secondly, another thing, it is not only the Bhabha Kavach, the materials itself. We are producing the materials here, except one part which I feel in near future it will be also produced in India. So I would say almost 90% of the materials are being made in India, and its technology is also developed in India. Not only made in India, technology is developed like hot press boron carbide and carbon nanotubes. This technologies have been developed in BARC. Another material is ultra high molecular weight polyethylene. Efforts are going on to make that also in India. It is being made in India, but the technology also we are trying to develop. So then it will be 100%. So Bhabha Kavach in that way it is step ahead towards the Atmanirbhar.
So, have you personally spoken to any police personnel or army personnel who have worn this Bhabha Kavach, and what was their experience?
Definitely. See, charity begins from home.
Yes.
So our BRC security, CISF,
Yes.
they were Bhabha Kavach. So I got direct feedback from them. They're very comfortable. They feel comfortable. They feel that it is easy to wear. It's not bulky. It doesn't restrict its movement, and so that is a good feedback, I would say. And but I have not got any feedback from somebody who has actually fought with the Bhabha Kavach. That may not be possible for me to get that feedback. But otherwise, normal users who are wearing it, we are regularly in touch with them. So they feel great about it, and we also feel great about it.
So there is a lot of positive.
Yes, there is a lot of. In fact, nowadays, the bulletproof jacket means Bhabha Kavach. This kind of feeling has come into some of the force people.
That is
That
right,
is also,
right?
yes.
So the last question I would like to ask you: how does it feel to be a Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar Awardee?
Oh, definitely, it is a great feeling. And if you analyze, researchers from nuclear energy and defense, generally, it is hard for them to get such recognition. There are many great scientists and engineers in this field, but due to the strategic nature of their work, they are not recognized. So it was a great feeling when I got this award, and hopefully in future many more researchers will get it from these organizations, because now government has started recognizing them.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to have you in our podcast.
Thank you, Shayani, for giving me the opportunity. Thank you very much.